Yo, yo, yo. It is Thursday night, the best night in streaming. If you ask me, maybe I'm a little biased,
No, it is.
but it's the funnest night at least. And I'm your boy High Five Vega, joined as always, the man who never sleeps, the guy who is a salad destroyer once again,
Oh yeah.
and also the man who would just pass on a nice Philly cheesesteak. His name's Bayette. Dean Bayette from Five Star Car Stereo.
It's a long E.
Right. Yeah.
It's a long E that sounds like an A.
Right.
Hey.
Hey. Or Canadian A. We can go Fonzie or Canadian either way.
Technically, I think it'd be Canadian. I think it's like French Canadian or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depends whose side of the family it was. They're all a bunch of losers. Hi,
So
Mom.
what's up?
Dude, nothing. Just happy to be at Thursday night. Not going to lie.
Yeah, man. It's been a ride. Been a
I
ride
know.
this week for me, too.
It's so this is like the first normal week we've had in weeks. So
Right.
much so it was funny. You know, I don't know what has been going on with. I know we're like there's a Ukrainian war. Like totally know that. I know what's going on there.
Oh, really? What? I didn't.
I know, right? No, I'm pretty sure that's somehow COVID went away and the war started. Anyways,
Right.
no comment. Anyways, other than that, I don't know what is going on. Like I keep seeing posts like, "Oh my God, gas prices and all that shit." I haven't had to put gas in my car in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Because you fly everywhere.
And I mean, yes, it's like we were out of town, and like I don't drive more than like not even Jesus, I don't drive at all. So like back and forth to work, it's like 10 miles a day, if that. And but yesterday I had to put gas in the car, and I was laughing because I was like, Jesus Christ, last time I put gas in my car, it was like 2 something a gallon. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got a good gas story. So I got gas. I filled up the Trooper. It's a freaking gas hog. It's stupid.
Oh yeah.
But so Cassie was doing the checkbook as she does on Thursday nights, and she just seen the pre-authorization. It's like $5 or whatever they do. She said, "You get gas today?" And I said, "Yeah." "How much?" $78. You know, I type it in. So I screenshot it. And I sent it to Derek, and I was like, "Watch this." I was like, "Let's see what she replies." So I screenshot and all capital letters, Jesus. I was like, "You're telling me?"
Apparently, she hasn't been paying attention either. I mean,
Exactly. Yes.
yeah.
Which listen. You never get in her car if it's not on E. I swear, if I drive her car anywhere, I have to put gas in it.
Oh, jeez.
And it's not, or I don't know. I don't know why she does the things she does, but she'll stop and put 20 in instead of just filling it up every time.
Okay, I'll go with you on that one. Before I go, I meant to say in Ukraine, the war in Ukraine. I don't really, I don't think they're taking ownership of it, but they are kicking ass. So, that's not why we're here. That's not why we're here.
No, we're here for the boys. As Scott says, here for the boys.
Speaking of the boys, off topic, did you see the preview for season 3?
No, but I heard it was pretty. Whoa, what did I do here?
I'm fine.
All right. I just, yeah, I don't know what's going on.
What's up, party
Carry
people?
On. Carry on.
Carry on. Nothing to see here, literally.
My gosh, I got my whole screen messed up. Okay.
You okay? You good?
We're good. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. No, that's all right. No, this was nice. This was like the first week back. Like Sunday I slept in. Like I slept in like I haven't slept in before. Like I was like, dude, like, although I will say that daylight savings kind of made it seem way cooler than it was.
Right.
Because it was like 1:30 or something when I got up. Which is like 12:30. But keep in mind, I still went to bed at like 4 a.m. So, when we're looking at the sliding scale, it's not as monumental. Like if I went to bed at 9 and woke up at 1, that would be like, holy Jesus. Like that'd be enough sleep for a month. But So Sunday, I didn't really do much of anything, even though I had a ton of shit to do.
Yeah.
I just got the bare minimum done. Like I edited the show. I printed some labels. I had to clean out the refrigerator in the garage because apparently one of the cans of ginger ale exploded.
Nice.
The girls went to a concert at the Strawberry Festival, so I had the house to myself.
Yeah.
So, which was kind of sucky. Like normally I'm down with that, but I was like, I haven't seen you guys in like 3 weeks, and like you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
Mm.
That
That kind of
do the
sucks.
concert.
Yeah, but I'm not going to that concert, so.
So you made the choice.
I get up at 4 a.m. to go to work. We're passing in the hallway. Yeah. Like last night I was like, because Wednesday night I have to do a double edit.
Right.
So we can do this show and you guys will have something to watch on Friday. And so like everyone wanted to talk to me last night, which is cool because I haven't seen anybody in a while. And, you know, just having fun. And I'm like, all right, Haley, you need to go to bed because Sue already got to bed. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's like 1 o'clock. And I was like, yeah. It means it's going to be like 3 a.m. before I get done with these edits. So politely get the hell out of here so I can get this done. Oh man, it was rough. Daylight saving kicked me in the ass. I love this time of the year. Like, I don't care. Like, see, that's the nice thing is that we've been so screwed up in time. Yeah. Like, this daylight savings was nothing because we were living 3 hours in the future and now we're 3 hours in the past, which is 4 hours in the past. And, you know.
Well, you see, they're trying to stay on daylight saving times forever, right?
They try that shit all the time. Sadly, the only state that can figure that out is Arizona. Like, come on. I was just there. That place sucks. No offense to anyone that lives in Arizona, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, they had you out in the middle of nowhere, too, so.
Dude, that place was, I mean, it has potential. Like, which I just found out we're going to have Brian Schmidt of Master Tech Expo, our mobile solutions, on Wednesday night. So we're going to do a special show Wednesday night where we're going to talk about probably the good things, some things we're going to change, or he's going to change. I'm not any part of it. We just show up, and smile, and wave, and kiss babies, and all that shit. But so if anybody, I'm sure he's going to do some kind of a tech tip too, or some kind of like, you know, here's some cool thing I do with a router. So definitely want to tune in Wednesday night, same time, 6:30. YouTube. We're going to do it on YouTube. So everyone that's here, pay attention, stay, and have fun with that. But we'll talk more, you know, but. Dean, you can't possibly have any free time between video editing, live shows, and a regular job. I mean, you're not wrong, but like that was the neat thing about Sunday, though, is that the girls left. I had shit to do. The Sunday edit, which is putting up the 5 minutes of 5-star Instagram recap show, though it takes forever to edit it because it's such a big show. I can just let it cook in the background. So I was able to watch the rest of Book of Boba Fett, and I watched Peacemaker.
I still haven't watched Peacemaker. I've been well, we could talk about it on the next show.
I was going to say, we'll talk about it on the next show. I just, you know, that's just the tease. Did you do a poll? Someone told me you did a poll.
I did a poll. Let me hit David Kozlik for the other half of the tank. Nice.
That's like a quarter right now, I think. But man, you're the man.
I know. You are the man. One of these days. Yeah, one of these days. All right. So listen, the poll this time, it's a ... It says, is car audio, it's in the chat. I put it in the chat now. It's just easier to do it this way. Is car audio ... 3 options: thriving, dying, or in stasis?
Ooh.
Where do you think that now so we need the Dean answer, but also where do you think the poll landed for the people? Like first, second, and third. And I'll give you a hint that it's a very wide margin. So the margin is 74%, 21%, and 5%.
I mean, mine is thriving.
Yeah.
I feel it's thriving. I feel some people might think it's in stasis, and then the poop heads are going to be like it's dying.
Yeah.
But how did it go?
That's exactly how it went. 1, 2, 3. 74% thriving. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, after back-to-back conventions that we just had, and you know, so Knowledge Fest is, as far as industry goes, it can be free to attend Knowledge Fest. It's $150 unless you can get a promo code from one of your vendors, which everyone always does. Or if you're an MEA member, then the entry fee is waived. I don't know anybody who actually pays for it. However, you have to pay for the hotel.
Yeah.
You have to pay for the plane ticket. The hotel this year was about $500, and I think for Fernando and I to fly out there, it was like $800. So what's that? $1,200.
Yeah.
$1,200, and I probably spent on taxis and food about $100. So about $1,300 to go to Knowledge Fest. Now to go to Master Tech Expo, it's $800 a person, I think.
Right.
So it was either $800 or $900 a person. So there's two of us, but we'll, either way. So that's a lot. And then flights out to there were about the same amount of money. And then the hotel was substantially more because apparently their hotels are lined with gold. The hotel was about $800.
Yeah.
So like for two people to go to Master Tech is about $4,000. Right. And I can tell you both trips a week and a half apart were packed full of people, and we weren't the only ones that went to both. There was plenty of guys that went to both. So, and the vendors were there in force, which means they had to be making money. So, I mean, just for me, out of pocket was ridiculous. Fortunately for Master Tech Expo, we went with Kenwood.
Right.
So, most of the cost there was absorbed by them. Thank God.
Thanks,
but
Kenwood.
they worked us like dogs. I mean, it wasn't like we didn't work for it. Trust me, we did.
Oh, I know. I seen. So I assume you were at the booth because I seen Nando in the background of everybody. Like all my friends were at Master Tech Expo. Nando was literally in the background of probably 40%. And this, I'm not even exaggerating. Probably 40% of the photos they posted, he was somewhere in the background doing. And also, shout out to Nando. I love his camera pose, like when he's taking pictures.
Oh, does he have a pose?
Yeah, he's got like he got the back foot, and he's got good technique. So he's doing it. Yeah.
But and then I had, because on one Tuesday I had him and Fro do the show, so that I could stay in the booth and work the Kenwood. But my point is that none of this could have happened if it was dying or stasis, So yeah, I mean these and like, dude, some of the new products that are coming out. I mean, it's like, I mean, granted, yes, inventory is always going to be a problem right now. We know.
Right.
I get it. I don't need to have one more person tell me like they can't get their one radio.
Right. Exactly.
Wow. Try running a store.
This is kind of like the inventory problems are from COVID, but I don't know how you land on it, but it seemed like COVID also boosted up car audio from the enthusiast perspective for sure.
Oh yeah. You had nothing else to spend your money on. It wasn't like you were going to concerts. A lot of people didn't go on vacations. So, a lot of people finally got to spend the money on the system they've wanted. And they're like, hey, this is cool. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the stimulus helped too. I'm sure those rounds of stimulus.
I didn't get any of that.
Yeah. Well, me neither. But I got some, but not as much as everybody else. But I think just having a large amount of money, people that, were probably already still working or doing whatever, they're like, hey, I'm going to put this back in the economy and get subwoofers with it.
I feel like it's safe to say this, but just to answer, did anyone else see what happened to Kip? Out of privacy for Kip and the whole thing going on there, it's not anything I feel anyone here is going to comment on.
Right.
Just because. So there are other avenues to which you can find out information about that, but for the most part right now, it's just, let them have their privacy and we'll see how that all plays out in the end. I think that's a politically correct way to say that.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, moving on.
Hey, RVH, you're telling me, bro. I didn't get one day off for COVID. I don't think Dean did either.
Oh, Jesus, no. I mean, the hype, like, oh crap, it's gonna die. We had a week there where we closed the shop, but that was the week we started working on Fernando's wife's Ground Zero build,
Yeah.
and we got halfway done with it. And the next week we started taking customer cars, and
Yeah.
so we had to stop working on it. And so we
You
never,
just had extra work. It seemed like that's what happened to us. We got a lot of extra work because COVID protocols. Like, so now we're doing these extra cleanings, this extra,
oh yeah. So we've never slowed down since then. Like since that week where we started like just taking cars in the back door and working with the back doors closed and pretending like we weren't there. It has not stopped. Like,
Yeah.
and then, when people say, oh, you took time off to go to this convention or you took time off to go do this, it's like,
It's just a
yeah,
different work. It's a
yeah.
different
And I mean, yeah. Okay. So when you see us sitting at a football game, we are having a good time. But at the end of the day, we're sitting at the game with, at the time, representative 2 from audio control. So
right.
we're kissing babies at this point,
Yeah.
because we work with them. We work closely with them. We have an awesome working relationship, and so it's business. At the end
Well,
of the day,
plus you
it's
spent
business.
you also they don't factor in the 8 hours you spent on the factory floor. This is after, so this would be after a regular work day. You're
Yeah.
there at night. You've already spent 8 hours during the
Well, it's the
day doing the
weekend too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I
So
mean, it was over the
yeah,
weekend. It wasn't like so we still worked up
right.
until we left Thursday. And then, we immediately got back and went right back to work. So it wasn't like we took a
Right.
day off after flying all the way across the United States and the red eye. We
Yeah.
were back at work first thing in the morning, you know, whether we wanted to or not. It's like it sucks.
This wasn't an option for me, but for people who have that option, that was cool that because companies wouldn't allow this before for whatever reason they thought they'd be screwing off. It
Yeah.
was cool, like there's kind of a paradigm shift where they're like, well, people can actually get things done from home, and I don't know that it'll ever go back to fully the way it was before.
I don't know why it would,
Yeah. I mean,
but
obviously some people will. Yeah, there's always people. 10% of people are always gonna get away with what they can, but
yeah, I would love to be able to get away with what I can.
yeah. Yeah, unfortunately for me, I have to be there to do my job, like, in person, so but my wife didn't, so she got to take advantage of some of that.
I don't get this one. Five. What is Scott's 5-star install bay made to look like not there? Oh,
What was it?
Scott. He's SD Designs. He says 5-star install bay made to look like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
not there.
yeah, because your guys' the way your guys' building is.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please leave us alone. Don't bother us. Fernando got so excited. We had all these stickers on the door, like Facebook and hours and all this crap. But we have this giant sticker that is right at my head height, and you could read it perfectly.
Yeah.
It's got a big red arrow that points the other way, and so that people don't try to come in the install bay. And so he's like, it's the only reason why people try is because they see all those open stickers and the Facebook sticker and all that stuff. I said, so remove it all. I mean, we're not doing anything. Go clean the door. It was like at the end of the day, and we had like an hour. So he goes and peels all the stickers off. So the next day, someone walks up to the door, and they go to pull the handle. They see the sticker, and they go like this, and they walked away. And he goes, "See, I told you it worked." Then the next day after that, someone's over there banging on the door trying to get in. I go, "See, I told you it didn't work." I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
So, oh well. Anyways, so what's been happening in the world of car stereo of yours? What have you been up to?
Listen, I have been working on very little car stereo. I've actually been, like, restoring an old Blue Point toolbox.
Oh
Uh
wow.
But I've been doing some, videos, of course. I've always
Yeah.
got videos. I'm testing the cheapest head unit or the best selling head unit on Amazon. That's my video for Sunday.
Why is
And
that even a thing?
because SEO. No, but
Oh, okay.
because people want to see like what's the best selling radio on Amazon or whatever the case. And it was $36. So that ought to
Oh my
let you know
God.
what the quality is going to be. But yeah, that should be a fun one. Outside of that, man, I haven't done a whole lot of car audio stuff. What have you guys got going on?
Today we worked on a Focus or a Fusion. We worked on a Fusion. It's funny that you mentioned the cheapest radio, because one of the things that was unique about this car was the fact that he had tried that. He had gone down that path. He had like a cheap EQ, 7-band, one of those, I don't know, one of those.
Right. Yeah,
they all make the same damn EQs, probably massive or some shit,
Mm-hmm.
or it's just 7-bands knobs. Anyways, that he had attached to the factory radio, or somebody had attached, cut all the wires, done all the bullshit behind the radio,
the good
put
way.
in some DS kicker 6.5s, a Scar 5-channel amplifier, their little tiny 5-channel amplifier, which sucks. Bad. I mean, we're not even talking RP. We're talking their micro things like this big. Oh, what a piece of shit. And you know, the car just sounded terrible. He had one comp C12 in the back in the factory ported box, and he drove over from Orlando, and he's like, dude, you know, could you come listen to this and tell me what you think and what can we do? And you know, as soon as he turned it on, I was like, boom, boom. And
so
he
made it sound worse than his factory system.
Oh yeah. He essentially broke the factory system putting this in, and I was like, there's not one piece here we can keep. You realize that, right?
Right.
Like all this stuff needs to go in the trash can. Except for like the comp. The woofer obviously is fine. And we didn't know at the time what he had in his doors, and he didn't either. So it was just like, yeah, we're not gonna play that game. But it was funny because, like you said, like you're gonna review the cheapest radio, and my talk today was stop buying the cheapest shit you can buy, because you're going to do it again, you know. And the people that haven't figured that out are like, I mean, kudos to you, by all means, buy the shit twice and come buy it from me both times. But you know, that's one of those life lessons I feel you learn from car audio, at least I did, is that if you're going to buy something, just save up and buy the best thing you can, or you know, and settle on that, because if you think you're going to buy the next thing at some other point in time, don't kid yourself. Just save up and buy that.
Exactly. You need to get like the highest quality, like what the least acceptable you can get, because you got to live with this stuff. You don't want to buy. I say this to my wife, who, when she buys work clothes, is looking for the cheapest deals, and she buys stuff every year. Bathing suits. She buys new bathing suits every year. And she's like, "What do you need new bathing suits?" Like, no, I got like 4. Because I bought decent ones. Yeah, they cost $40 for a pair of swim trunks, but I've had these swim trunks forever. They're still good. And if I add another one, it just adds to it. I don't have to take away the old piece of crap. That's where I'm trying to convert her. Listen, I know $80 seems like a lot for a bathing suit. If you spend that $80, you'll have that bathing suit for several years, and then you can add another $80 bathing suit later on. It's the same with anything in life.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, I bought cheap car audio naturally because that's all I could afford. And as time went on and I could afford better stuff, it was like, you know, once you get a taste for that better stuff, it's like you stop making excuses for the cheap shit.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, you know what? No. Oh, this is pretty good. No, it's not. It sucks.
Right.
You know. But there again, I mean, to be fair, you have to get what you can afford and live with, and you know, and but that's my point though, is that you should you have to know your limitations, and you have to accept it, and not be like, oh, I'm going to get the next best thing. It's like, no. This is what you can have, because this is where you're at. And we're all at somewhere. We all want to drive Aventadors, but we're not. I'm driving a Mustang. It's not an Aventador. I would way be happier with one of those, but
you found your level.
I found my level. So this is where I'm playing, and I'm not going to sit there and go, I'm going to drive this for now, but you know, next time that's mine. No, that's not how it is. So I mean, I feel we have to be honest with ourselves, and car audio is one of those things that it's like, if you're going to buy a $36 in-dash radio because you think you're gaming the system, you're not.
You played yourself.
Yeah, if you're buying a $36 in-dash radio because that's where it's at, meaning this is what I can do, then you're fine. And I can respect that because you're willing to be like, hey, this is what I'm at, man. Would I like this? Yeah, but that's not my game. This is my game. And it's like, perfect, man. I can respect that because it's like you want to live a better life and you want the things, and you're like, but this is where I'm at. But the guys that are well above that, and they're going, no, I'll just get this because this will work. And then they bitch about it, and you're like, you're an idiot. Why did you do that? Did you? Exactly. I mean, you look around you. You know,
right?
Like,
well, that's like with this right here. This Blah Punk amp, 4,000 watts, $50 at Walmart's. You know, it done 1,000 watts. But what I say in the video is, are you going to be happy with this? Probably not. I mean,
well, if your only goal in life is to have 1,000 watts, then yeah,
right. And you have the 1,000 watts, but for how long? And who knows? Like what? It had some weird, like it was something's going on with the power supply. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's sending like EMI and all this crap through the voltage crazy spikes. But you would be happier with like a Alpine, a Kenwood, a Kicker, a JL entry level, Rockford Fosgate Prime. Yeah, it's going to cost you $179. You're only getting half the power, 500 watts. But guess what? It's going to be a decent amp that you're going to be able to use for a long time.
Right. Well, Robert Smith says, I feel Rockford is definitely middle of the road, great product and affordable. And to say a brand is middle of the road, I think is kind of not the best way to say it, because like right now we're working with Focal with the auditor line. Okay.
Yeah.
And the auditor, by your definition, so's Focal middle of the road, because Focal makes a product, the auditor, that comes in at $150, okay, for a set of speakers. I think that's a very fair price. They make a $150 set, they make a $300 set, they make a $600 set, they make a $1,200 set. They have a $2,500 set, and they have a $5,000 set. So, but they cover everything from affordable to, depending on how rich you are, still affordable, or depending on how broke you are, out of this world.
Right.
And you'll find that most manufacturers do that. So Rockford has Prime, they have Punch, and they have Power. And when you look at Power, Power has 4 lines of speakers, R1, 2, 3, and 4. And the R4s, they used to have 5s, but they never sold. But those were like $1,200 a set speakers, or $2,200 a set speakers. That came with a crossover that was like as big as your head. It was gigantic. But the R4s are still expensive. By, you know, depending on how you look at, you know, like if you look at like a Prime at, you know, $70, $80, and R4 is up here around $900. So there again, now that kind of, and then if you look at like the Power series amplifiers, the full size Power, you know, you have a T2500 that's $900, probably $1,000 now with current pricing on and chips and shit. Might even be $1,100 by now. But down on the other side of the coin, you have an R2 that is extremely affordable at like $250.
Right.
So there again, Rockford runs the gamut of price points depending on what you're looking at. But everybody does that. If you look at Hertz Audison, Hertz has Uno, Dici, Cento, Milli Legend. And then you look at Audison. Audison really doesn't play that much. They have Prime or Prima and Voce. And then they have whatever the hell's after Voce. Super expensive. So, but there again, in Morel, same thing. You have, you know, the Maximus at, you know, $299, which is in that, and I think they have one.
They got Maximo. Maximo is
Maximo. Yeah. So, I mean, really, most manufacturers have good, better, best, and that's the thing, is that I don't. And like when we talk about the auditor, we say, hey, look, if you want to experience Focal, you can now, because you have the auditor that'll do that. Good
like
quality
Baba
at
says.
affordable rate. Yeah.
And I think that's what you get with the lower lines. Like with
Right.
Kenwood doesn't have real high end lines right now, but there's something like that. Rockford does have, the
Well, Kenwood
prime.
has the XR type or the XR line.
Right.
So the Kenwood XR line, which is nowhere near, let's say, a Flax, but as far as like a Japanese speaker is concerned, with the exception of Alpine, it's still a pretty pricey set of speakers. And I will
it's
put
like
them,
a $500 set.
I will put them up against anybody's stuff. And you'll be like, wow, that's a Kenwood? I'll be like, yeah, bro, step off.
Back up.
Back up. Dial it back.
You know what doesn't exist though?
What's that?
The delta between prime and power. Nobody gives a crap about punch. Rockford
in my world, I can't. I don't know. The last couple of weeks we had to do some punch stuff, and I was just like, it's not.
You need to blow the dust off it.
I don't particularly like it, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I just, it's like,
it seems great. It's just it seems like the mushy middle. It just seems like the mushy middle because they have a really solid budget offering in Prime, in my opinion.
Dude, Prime is hardcore.
Right. Sure. And then they have a super high end, and it's like the punch doesn't offer me anything to entice me away from Prime. No. And it's close enough to power that it's like, I don't know.
I would just buy power. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, dude, power is literally like $50 more. Just go to the power. And they just kind of, really? I'm like, yeah, and it's so much better. And I shoot myself in the foot because power is so much harder to install because you got that gigantic crossover. But it's like, I don't care. I would much rather deal with that than deal with putting, Okay.
Stereo King Fro's house.
Yeah. Nice. All right, there you go, Fuego. He's gonna be here next week or the week after.
Oh yeah,
he's vacationing here, so we're going out to eat. Screw the show. The thing was, that was the sucky thing, is that we're both at the same place for 3 days. And out of those 3 days, I feel like and realistically, I spent probably 30 minutes with him the whole time. I think I sat down and maybe ate lunch with him once. Maybe. And then we walked around for about 10 minutes, and that was about it. It was like...
Dude, we got to get Fro back on SideJag anyways, because he's the king of the food challenges now, and he's already set a precedent. So then the next time we have him on, Squid has some kind of food challenge.
Well, and that's why I let Fernando go with him, because I was like, I know he can do the show.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I was like, you guys go do the show and have fun. I still haven't had a chance to watch this. Yes, that's it. Thesis. Which, if you want to be like, if you want to be like, damn, that amp is expensive. If you want to see an expensive amp, go look at a Thesis. Those are hand built, bro.
Some of the most expensive amps you can get.
Yeah. They definitely are. But so my point is that if there's a brand that you like, if like, back to the $36 radio, like you settle for these cheap, shitty, no-name brand things, and it's like, you realize that like you could have first tier better product, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm paying for that name. No, you're not. You're paying for that engineering, because the same guy that made that high-end speaker designed that speaker. Okay.
Right.
It's the same dude. If we want to equate that out to the one we all know and love, which is Kicker.
Yeah.
The same guy that designed the CS and the DS also designed the Q class.
Right.
Okay. It's the same guy. Okay. The only difference is the restraint.
The box. Yeah. This is your box. You build this, and it's inside of this.
And all the engineers I've talked to over the years, it's way more promising. It's way more satisfying to design a $100 speaker or $150 speaker than like a $800-900 speaker. Because those speakers, man, the sky is the limit. Like you can use exotics and metals and magnets and just go to freaking town. But if you got $150 retail that you got to hit, woo, you're putting in some hours.
Yeah.
So, higher than Macintosh. Listen, I tell you what, I used to have Macintosh car back in the day, and it wasn't all that great. All right, I'm not gonna. I know Everyone's like, oh, the amps were wonderful for 1990, but or early 2000s, whatever the hell that thing was.
The mids were.
The speakers were just, dude. They were Clarion. They were
yeah,
literally Clarion.
They were good, but they were not like mind blowing good.
No, it had their tweeter. It was their tweeter, but I'm pretty sure the mid bass was a Clarion.
Because my buddy Sean had told me, he's like, yeah, man. I told him I got him. He's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I really wasn't super impressed with them. He's like, they're not bad. They're just not what you think when you think Macintosh.
And it's funny, right? Yeah. If out of all the stereos I've owned, you know, it was Morel, Macintosh, Kenwood, then Macintosh, and then I think Kenwood was last. So it was Macintosh, then Kenwood, and the Macintosh was just kind of like, whatever. I mean, I took the Morel out to put that in, and it was just like, because that was the new hotness. That was like, oh yeah, Q class amps are amazing. Right. Not efficient at all though. So have some battery. That's why they're discontinued.
Right.
The technology was sound. It would hold up today. The power supply, it was a beast. It was just a beast. So that's why those are gone. No other reason. It's just they were a beast of a power supply, and we need something that Q class tweeter mounts suck. Keep your opinions to yourself. Just kidding. ADS. Yeah, I remember ADS.
That's 20 watts by 26 channels.
Yeah, exactly. Which is like the modern Helix amplifier.
It is, yeah, right.
You know, it's definitely the modern Helix amplifier. I love Morels, but sold the car. It happens, dude, man. It happens.
You want to know what the topic was for today?
Oh, we had a topic? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, listen. So people that have watched the show probably got the topic, but the title of it is, what's the best 6.5-inch speaker?
Okay. I mean, I feel like we're hitting the topic.
Yeah, we are. That's why
I feel like we accidentally hit the topic. So I mean, we accidentally cool with that.
Yeah, it was a joke topic. We rolled into it some crazy way. But yeah,
Dave, I'm a middle of the road kind of guy. I like Rockford Fosgate, and there again, perfectly fine. But what I was getting at is I wouldn't discount Rockford as saying they're middle of the road. I feel
they
like
definitely got some high.
I don't feel like they hit that ultra high end thing, but those T4s are definitely not.
They still
not
make those?
Are those still? They make T4s.
Okay,
you can get T4s. You can get the T1. You can get the T3, T1 sub, the T3 sub. I mean, there's some Rockford products that are like, holy shit, that's out of my money, but I'm not spending that. You know, so.
I ran the Power T16 mids.
Yeah.
The component set. I mean, I didn't really like the tweeters, but the mids were great. The mids are great.
Okay, so here's how to look at the T's. This is the magic. I finally had someone explain it to me. So T1 silk, T2 metal, T3 silk, T4 metal, T5 back to silk. So you actually, what you're looking at is, depending on your type of listening, T1 is not necessarily better than a T2. It's a different tweeter. So if you want the eye lenses peeled back and you get a T2, because T2 has the metal tweeter that'll just blast you out of the car. However, if you want it a little bit less subdued, you know, not so glass shattery sounding, then you go with a T1 or a T3.
And they're still on the edge, even though
they're still the loudest damn tweeters you're gonna find. But you know, and that's the thing. You know, one of the things I had to because you know, I would always tell people like the silk tweeter is a little softer, a little more mellow.
Yeah.
And people would automatically associate that with like they're not as loud. And it's like, no.
No, they can
They're both the same level. They will both smack you on just relentlessly. It's just once they're that loud, are the dogs barking in the back of the room, or is everyone just okay? You're like, oh, okay, it's good, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I you know,
yeah, the silks can definitely go to Nando level if you need them to.
Oh, and they do. Trust me. Like the ground zero uraniums he has in his car now are just like, holy shit.
Those are pretty large format, aren't they?
Oh, they're giant tweeters. But I tell you what, when we had the Morel hybrids in there,
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like, dude, I'm like, all right, we need to turn those down. He's like, yeah, we need to turn those down. Like, there wasn't even a question of it. They're like, these need to go down now, you know?
Yeah.
And then, okay, so a lot of people ask the difference between passive and active because we just, I spent 2 days yelling across the table at everyone because at the Kenwood show, we had two systems, one passive with a 5-channel, one active with a 4-channel and a mono block. Same systems, same speakers, passive, active, power difference, but no DSP because the amplifiers could do everything we needed them to do for this demo. We were trying to keep it simple, something you could put in a customer's car, do the front stage upgrade with sub, and still get an amazing sound and tailor it how you want. Right. And so what we were trying to explain, and a lot of people ask this, is like, everyone has tried to explain gain overlap. Okay. Oh, you gain overlap. You have to gain overlap. And whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
The reality of it is when you look at a mid bass is not as efficient as a tweeter. Okay. So the passive crossover is trying to bring that tweeter in to where it will play nicely with that mid bass. And that's why usually you'll see like -3, sometimes -6, -3, 0.
And then 0.
Or -3, 0, and +3.
+3.
Now,
but it's almost always the same thing though. It's always starts at whatever -12 dB, and then you go -6 and
so
0.
Here's the reality of all that. It's all a lie.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's all a lie. 0 is whatever the plus is. Okay,
yeah.
Because that's straight up. This is what this tweeter does.
Right.
0. I wish they would just put 0 there, and the reason why they don't is because they're hoping that some people will be like, oh man, no, I don't want to run it at that. That's gonna be too hot. So, but no, that is 0 dB, and then you have, whatever it's attenuated down. So if it's in groups of 2 or groups of 3, so you have 0, -3, -6 is basically how that works. Right. Anything other than that, anything you want to say, it's all bullshit. Okay, it's all just trickery and marketing to make you feel like, oh yeah, it's like I can make it louder.
Yeah,
through passive crossover, you're gonna make it louder. How? Yeah. The magical volume fairies get in there and they tweak some shit. Yeah. No. It's not how it works. It's magically delicious. No, it's not. So, and that is on there for a reason. And that's the ratio between mid bass and tweeter. Now, some people just want the tweeter so loud. It's like, yeah, great. They're not going for sound quality. They're not, and I hate using the word sound quality because that automatically puts you in like the pinkies out kind of thing. And it's like, no. Sound quality is just like some semblance of level that when you get in the car, everything makes sense to you. Not necessarily to the guy sitting in the parking lot on the weekend going, hey man, check it out. No, it's not SQ built. Quality of sound, if we have to call it something else that makes sense. Now, when you go active, you can set your amplifier up whatever gain structure you want, 0 dB, -5, -200. I don't care. But now what happens is what you're basically setting when you go active like that is this is the loudest these can ever play. So here's my and trust me, on a tweeter, 0 is fine. You don't need to do +5,
right?
-5, which is +5. Go watch the video on how we did that. Just 0. 0 is cool, man.
Wait,
0's cool.
Are people using like a DD1 to set their gain for their tweeters?
Yeah, I would hope so. Otherwise,
dude, I don't. I go all the way down. I
listen. Like you're gonna end up there, but the same guy that's like, how do I set mine using my DSP?
Yeah. Because I never I just never registered me that someone's like, I need to get maximum power to my
250 watt tweeter, bro.
I just never. I always start at 0, and then I may go like, I don't even have like a rule of thumb.
I can tell you 2 days of listening to Andy talk about how a 250 watt tweeter or 150 watt tweeter will never see 150 watts. At most, it'll have a watt. Maybe 2 watts on a good day.
You're just you're just cracking the game.
You're fooling yourself because it doesn't work like that. It does. Yeah. I mean, if a tweeter could handle 250 watts, it would have a voice coil and a spider and tinsel leads like a woofer.
Right.
And it doesn't.
Yeah.
How is that? It's not magic. It's not magic.
Right.
That's why you can't play 1,000 hertz test tone with a speaker hooked up to it. Because guess what? You're going to put that power into that tweeter, and that tweeter is going to go, fuck you, buddy. And it's going
to be like that SpongeBob meme. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to head out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
250 watt tweeters. That's going to be full shrill. But there again, okay, tweeters don't actually handle that. It all has to do with the BS sales ratings that they have. It's a scale. It makes sense. When it's explained to you, you're just going to be like, but trust me, your tweeters maybe see 1 or 2 watts if you're lucky. But the point is that back to setting those gains up on that active system is you still need to figure out where the amp is going to perform best. Okay, because regardless of whoever you are, it's like, because all right, some amplifiers, the gain, like if you look at like a Power Mini T, all right, that gain is so low. Like I don't know what they're like, dude. You could probably put 15 volts into that thing, and they'll be like, oh, finally, like we don't have to adjust the gain. Huh.
Yeah.
Whew. I mean, because I've run so much voltage into the front end of those, and it's just like none of the lights are on, and I'm like, I'll be at 12 o'clock, and it'll finally like blue light. I'll be like, are you shitting me? Like,
damn.
What is this gain capable of doing? 0.005 to fucking 10? I mean, holy God. I mean, just
and it's all on the back end. It's all on the back end of the dial.
Yeah. So, there again, you running your tweeters at 0 dB of overlap is ideal because you never want your tweeters to clip.
Right.
They just don't have the motor structure to handle it, and they're going to be plenty loud.
And your ears aren't going to handle it well. Some people's mine don't.
No.
Mine don't.
I might have to rewatch the show to find out the best 6.5. M profile focals. Anyways, they're not. So anyways, get that. Now, once you have them playing, now where the fun starts, because this is where people are like, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch it. I've already set them up. I don't want to touch it. Bullshit. You can touch the shit out of it now, but you're going to turn them down. Okay.
Right.
Everyone always wants to find how far we can turn them up, because okay, how low can we turn them down? So if mark it if you want, like this is the loudest that this gain can go, and then start turning things down. It's okay to turn stuff down. Like it's dude, we'll get in the car, we'll set things up, and it'll be all right, start dialing it down. Dial it down. All right, there, that's perfect. That blends the tweeter with the mid-range, because I want the mid-range that is lower in the door, little less directional as the tweeter, to couple with that tweeter and sound nice and full. And if that tweeter is just blasting me out, I'll never hear those.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, this sucks. And if you have a weak subwoofer and your mids and highs are killing it up front, dial both of them down even more so that the subwoofer comes in when it needs to. So Andy did the best thing. Andy Waymeyer from Audio Frog. He said this was the greatest thing. He goes, listen, the guy out there that tells you that, I don't have enough power and that's how I blew my speakers is an idiot. He goes, have you ever gotten in the car and go, quick, turn my radio up all the way, you're going to blow my speakers? I about fell over in the class in the corner while he said that, because I was like, damn, that's my show right there. Okay, speakers don't blow on low power. It just doesn't happen. Like, if that was the case, every factory system in a car would be dead the minute it rolled off the lot, because nobody's blasting these things. They're just getting, when do they blow them? When their volume is turned all the way up. But when you're listening at normal listening level, I mean, look at home audio, for example. Okay. Like you buy a set of home audio speakers. How long do you have them? I've had my Morels now for almost 30 years. Okay. They're never going to go bad. They play at normal listening levels all day long, all day. All right.
Yeah.
They're never going to go bad. Why would they go bad? A subwoofer. I got Cobalt subwoofers that are older than some of the people in the chat. Okay. Yeah. They're never going to go bad. Because
it's going to be like environmental reasons they went bad, because the
motor structure will never die.
Yeah.
They got big ass, they got powerful amplifiers. I mean, shit, these things are putting out 10 watts that'll blast you out of the fucking car. in the car world, but in the AC
Yeah.
world, 10 watts is like, oh shit, turn that down.
Yeah.
You know, that's enough.
Yeah, let's back it off.
That's enough. We were watching one of the movies, and we have shit on the shelves above them.
Yeah.
And one of the stormtroopers that was up there fell, and we're like, oh, what the fuck was that? Oh, we were watching the Atom Project. Have you seen that?
I meant to watch it. No, but it's on the list.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We watched Free Guy instead. But that's on
Saw
the
that
list.
too. We'll talk about that too. We can talk about that. People turn it up way past clipping to get them boom. Well, and there again, to be fair, when you're looking at a subwoofer, clipping the shit out of a subwoofer, as long as the motor structure is sound, isn't the worst thing in the world. Like it can handle some tack welding.
Yeah.
But it's the extended tack welding that's the problem. So yeah, it's always the guy that gets the 3,000 watt woofer with the 1,000 watt amp, wants the 1,000 watt amp to put out 3,000 watts, turns the gain up.
And just square signal.
It says the same shit. I only got the gain turned up about halfway, so I mean I could still go up more.
Yeah.
And you're just looking at him like, get out of my face. Please get out of my face.
Got that square wave.
Traffic. Go play in it, please.
Yeah. It happens. I think that's why people say that they say low power. Well, they're trying to use it as some kind of rule of thumb for dumb people.
Yeah, the only rule of thumb is like, up your ass that smells like shit. I have not heard the audio dynamic stuff. So
I heard some 5,000 or 6,000. Sound pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad.
I mean, okay, let's be honest, man. Like most stereo equipment right now is pretty decent stuff.
Oh,
like if you're not buying the $36 tape deck,
this. Yeah, don't buy this.
I mean,
the other stuff's good. Yeah.
Yeah, but see there again, like now if that amplifier,
that's a lot for $50. That's not bad.
Right. But so the problem is that, and this is where it happens. It's like in most cases, like that would be an okay amp because it's like it doesn't put out 4,000 watts, but you know, if they said it was an 800 watt amp and they built it to be an 800 watt amp that actually put out 1,000 watts, it'd be a different conversation.
Right.
But for $50, what are they putting in it? Like you have to know you're not getting enough parts to make it like worthwhile. Like it's like you're buying a turd. Like the aluminum is probably worth more recycled than the amplifier. You know,
if it is all aluminum, who knows what's in there?
Yeah, it's like Rice Krispie treats covered in aluminum foil and baked in the oven.
He said, "There you go, Falcos. Don't order Falcos from Wish."
No, definitely don't do that.
Because they're on there. There's probably that very exact brand spelling and everything on there.
Oh yeah, Sherwood and Kenmore. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man,
I miss the old Orion XTR subs with ferrofluid. Oh my god,
dude, I hated ferrofluid. I liked the subs back in the day, but ferrofluid as like a thing.
So I was talking with one of the old school guys, and somehow we got. I don't remember what we got talking about and how we got on it, but I was like, "Well, just inject it with some ferrofluid. You'll be all set." Like he was complaining about like joint pain or some shit like that. And he just busted out laughing because he was like, "Oh, dude, that was good."
That was the fix for everything.
For those of you guys don't know what ferrofluid is, it's a magnetic liquid that was think of it like
for cooling.
Yeah, it was antifreeze, magnetic antifreeze for speakers. And it's in a lot of tweeters.
Yeah.
But then they figured, hey, we can put this in a subwoofer and keep the voice coil cool. And really, at the end of the day, it burned most of it off pretty quick.
Yeah.
And or gummed up the voice coil. Mm-hmm. So
get in the magnetic gaps sometimes.
Yeah, it didn't always work out the way it was supposed to. But hey, Orion really ran with it.
Right.
So.
Hey, did they have the lifetime warranty on subs when you were selling them?
XTRs?
Yeah.
I mean,
XTR ones, twos, not threes. XTRs and ones and twos in my area, a lifetime warranty as long as you owned them.
I think the XTR ones and twos came out long after we had done away with the line because we sold the original XTRs, like when the NT stuff was just coming out.
Yeah,
and then we got out of the line. So Because at that point it was going through. It had just been bought by Corrine Jacobs, and the company Sam Taylor was gone, and things were starting to get weird. And they had come out with the amplifiers with the chip crossovers.
Oh, dude.
And it was like, all right, enough is enough.
That was right after DR. So digital reference was the last one, but pre-chip.
Yeah, and so we were like, I think we had just picked up like the Alpine V12 stuff had just dropped, and the V12 stuff was just fucking bulletproof. Right. And then they had the expert class, which was just it's just a crossover. So, funny story, when the expert V12 Alpine stuff came out, it had a little plastic cover that covered over the crossover.
Right.
And they called it expert because it came with a variable crossover instead of a switch. And they had, I think the Highs amp had like parametric crossovers, and they weren't going to sell them to stores unless there was somebody that was MECP certified, because they're expert class, because it has a crossover that's a parametric. And that lasted for all of like 6 months, because they realized that no one had ever bothered to get an MECP, and like they wanted to sell amplifiers. So that shit, what was it, like the reps were coming and going, you have somebody MECP certified? You do, right?
Yeah.
Give me a name, I don't care, whoever.
Like they got the same, they got every store in a 20-mile radius has the same MEC certified technician.
Yeah, they didn't care.
Yeah,
like they're not going to check. Who gives a shit? We need to sell these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always thought that was funny, because it was like, they're like, you have to be specially trained on these. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Why? Well, they have these variable crossovers. Wait, what? I mean, a 200 CRX has been variable with no numbers. Like we had to set those fuckers with the force.
Exactly.
That might be 3,200, but it could be 5,000. I don't know. Tweeters sound good. Let's leave it there.
Dude, I hated that. Back in the day, that if the CC1 came out in like 90 ish, that would have been a lifesaver, dude. Because you sit there, you just.
Dude, could you imagine some of these pretentious pricks that are like, you're not setting it right? Could you imagine what they would have had to live through back then?
Oh, like, no. Yeah.
I mean, I just want to set them back in the 90s car audio for like a weekend. Yeah. Just be like, go to town, fucker. And this is what we had to play with. And then just be like, oh my God, how do I do it? Oh,
how do you know what 5,000 hertz is? Well, see this one, this is 50 hertz on this sticker over here. This is 10,000 on the sticker over here. We're shooting for the middle.
Here, just play a song. I'll tell you when it's set.
Exactly.
How do you set your gains? Hey, not only how do you set your gains, we have a left gain and a right gain. And between us.
Man, left gain, right gain. I mean, it's super dope for channel separation of people. I don't give a crap about any of that. I don't want to do it. It sucks. I don't ever want to do it again. I don't care how good a separation you get.
Don't buy the 45th anniversary Morel amplifier then.
Oh, are they doing it? A lot of amps do it.
There's a lot of crossovers.
Is it a dual mono amp? Yeah. Usually when it's a dual mono amp, that's when they wanna put it in there for channel 7. I understand the reasons. I just don't care.
Yes, Bobby Sidejag is next.
Right, and someone already dropped a link in there.
Oh, that Hi-Fi Vega guy. What a douche.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, coming through in the clutch.
I saw a 90s Civic hatchback with 4 Orion XTR. Oh, dude, let me tell you what. 215s and a CRX was like the system, man. Yeah. We did so many of those. Like 216s or 215s, big ported box, 2125, 2150, 250 HCCAs. Didn't care. Oh, because that box just dropped in perfect and just oh my God. I mean, don't get me wrong. By today's standards, probably could do it with 2 6.5s.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and pretend like, oh, dude, let me tell you what. Back in the day, those 2 fake.
Yeah.
Now you
No.
could probably do what we were doing with those 215s
Right.
with 2 of these 6.5s, maybe 3 of the 6.5s, whatever.
And a
in
CRX.
box.
Like you could do a lot in a CRX, dude.
Oh,
CRXs are just
you know, it was, but back then that was like, man. I wanted a CRX just so I could put 215s in it. Not gonna lie,
dude. People are still doing stuff with CRXs, like crazy numbers and crazy systems, just because like it's like the perfect car for any kind of system you want to do. Yeah,
it's a bubble. I mean, Trans Am or a Camaro, that square body Camaro back in the day, or Trans Am, depending on if you're a Pontiac or a Chevy guy. 810s, man, 810s, 4 on the hump, 4 on the well. Ooh,
there you go.
That was brutal. That was brutal. And then when the other body style came out, it was just 8 flat across the back, or 210s and a bandpass, which I'm here to tell you, one of the reasons why I hate building boxes is because of that box. 210 bandpass for a Camaro. Fuck you. Eat a dick.
I hate. That's.
And actually, the schematic for it is in the Orion magazine.
Is it?
Oh yeah, they put it in the magazine, and so immediately when it was in the magazine, it was like they gave you all the pieces, so you could just cut them all out. It'd be fine now because like you could just literally draw it and CNC cut it. It'd probably be pretty cool, but back then,
no.
Seriously, I mean you're literally on the table saw all day. Oh god, so bad.
Hard pass on that.
My first sub was an MTX Blue Thunder 12. There you go.
That's a lot of people's first sub.
Not mine. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we always have fun doing this. This is the best show on Thursday nights. Just saying.
Can't argue with that.
All right. If you're interested in talking about movies, music, or just movies and food, really, is what it comes down to. Stay tuned for Side Jag over on the Side Jag Network. The link is in the description. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Same bad time.
Same bad channel.